else amazed at how this show just totally surprises us like every single week. I just can't get over it. It's just so amazing to me. So we start off with our flashboard scene again, and now we're seeing some movement with Annalise because the paramedics are there and they're taking her to the hospital by ambulance. She's still alive, and like I've always said, I do think she's going to pull through this. Now we see Nate and the Keating Four frantically still trying to flee the scene. But we don't really know what is up with them. We do know that Michaela is trying to gain her composure because she needs to call someone. She does call this person. She's like, you know, everything's fine, everything's fine. And I'm sitting here like, who is she talking to? We'll find out, I think, at the end of this episode. So let's go back to what we know as present day. We hear from Nate's wife. I think this is the very first time we've actually seen her. We know that she's terminally ill, probably doesn't have long to live, and she's in the hospital. But she wants to talk to Annalise, and what she wants to talk to her about is assisting her in taking her own life because she doesn't want to live in that kind of pain anymore. So she asked Annalise to get her some prescription medication, which would basically be an assisted suicide. So, will Annalise do that or will she not? We'll have to wait a little bit to find out about that. Alright, so we have another side story introduced to us this week, and this one follows a girl named Zoe, who is a high school student, who admits that she killed one of her best friends, but she says she was forced by, or bullied and forced by a couple of other friends to kill this person, and now Annalise is going to try to prove that she was, you know, forced to do it, that this wasn't something that she wanted to do. She was basically bullied into it. So the prosecution thinks that Zoe is a cold-blooded killer who acted on her own recognizance, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. So, honestly, this is interesting to me in this episode to see the way that Connor has been reacting to especially Annalise, and he just feels like she's really corrupt, which we all know that she is, and he's kind of getting tired of it, but at the same time, he's so afraid to leave because he feels like he will be murdered if he does, and to be completely honest, he's probably exactly right, which is freaking crazy. So Annalise has a special assignment for Michaela. She wants her to go talk to that bro-sis duo who is accused of killing and torturing their parents. And she wants her to get to the bottom of this whole incest rumor to find out, are they really sleeping together? What is up with that? So we will see what she can find out. When Michaela talks to the brother, whose name is Caleb, he is uber defensive and he keeps insisting that they're innocent and that nothing weird is going on, that they didn't have a relationship. But what is interesting here is that Michaela is starting to develop a major crush on him, and I think that's going to be incredibly important to this season's storyline. Annalise asks Frank for those pills to help Nate's wife take her own life. Nate tells Wes, because you know they're kind of working together, that Frank called a girl right around the time that Rebecca went missing. I think he made like 3 phone calls to her, so we will need to find out if that is important in this episode. Asher's dad is working hard to get him out of the trouble that we've seen him get into the past couple of episodes, but by doing this, Asher is exposing Annalise. Who knows what he is saying, because honestly he's been kept on the outside and doesn't really know what's been going on. But I think he's exposing her as like a murderer and who knows what else. So Bonnie is asking Frank to basically hack into Asher's phone because Bonnie knows something is just not right with Asher. It goes beyond like him meeting some girl in the library and having, you know, kind of cheating on her. There's way more to it than that, which Bonnie is a smart girl because she's absolutely right. Let's go back to our side story. So Laurel does not buy Zoe's story that she was bullied and forced to kill a friend. So she steals her phone and she finds a hidden app that actually contains a video of Zoe and her other friends bragging about how they killed this girl and how they would, especially Zoe, would love to kill someone again. Annalise wants to get rid of this video. She thinks that she has. Connor freaks out. He's like, this is so unethical. I can't believe we're going to let this murderer, you know, go free because she'll probably do it again. So Catherine drops a bombshell on Michaela. Catherine's the sister of the bro-sister murder duo and suspected murderers. And she tells Michaela that she's a virgin and, you know, nothing weird was going on with her and her brother. So Annalise is like, well, are you interested in proving it? And she gets some tests done and it turns out she was telling the truth. She is a virgin. So now they're going to try to introduce that as, you know, some evidence to support that they weren't having an incestual relationship. So hopefully this will help the case. I mean, I guess technically I had this thought that maybe they still could be doing some stuff they shouldn't be doing, but they just didn't have sex, but I don't know. Let's hope that wasn't going on. So we have some trouble here with our side story, with our side case, because someone has leaked that crazy video of Zoe bragging about being a murderer to the prosecution. So that's introduced into the case as evidence, introduced during the trial. And Annalise is so freaking smart that she's able to kind of turn the tables and make it seem like Zoe's friend really did push Zoe into doing it even after we saw this video. But then Zoe gets like jealous because she doesn't want her to take the credit for the murders, and she convicts herself. She stands up basically in the courtroom, or she yells in the courtroom, and she's like, no, you know, you guys wouldn't be anywhere without me. And she basically says that she's the mastermind behind it all, and she puts herself in jail. So you go, Zoe, you go. We all kind of know, or at least I knew, who leaked that video, and that, of course, was Connor. So, because, you know, he didn't want this murderer to be set free, but he didn't really even have to do that. Well, maybe he did, because even though she convicted herself, maybe she wouldn't have said anything if that video hadn't surfaced in the courtroom. But Annalise confronts him, and she's like, look, did you forget that your DNA, not your DNA, the Frank's DNA is in your like SUV, so you basically can't go anywhere. She's one scary lady. Like I've said a million times before, she's corrupt. She'll do anything. Maybe deep down she has a good heart, but kind of like once you get in bed with her, so to say, you are screwed, because she will take you down with her. All right. So let's go back to this person who Frank was calling a couple of nights, or the night of Rebecca's disappearance. Her name is Sabrina, and after Nate did some investigating, it turns out that her brother works at the cemetery, so more than likely her body is there, Rebecca's body. And actually, I don't think it was Nate who found out about the brother. I think it was Rebecca's so-called brother. And I'm having these thoughts here, like, can we really trust him? Is he telling Wes the truth? Is he even who he says he is? Because all along, I haven't bought that whole story. What do you guys think? Thumbs up if you think he's shady, and if you think there's more going on than what we know. Anyway, so Wes is just convinced that her body has been dumped or buried in that cemetery. So, surprisingly, maybe for some of us, I wasn't super surprised. I thought I could go either way, but Annalise did not end up giving Nate's wife the pills to help her kill herself. His wife was like completely surprised, but Annalise actually admitted that she had basically never been a happy person, and that she thought about taking her own life since she was a child. So maybe this explains some of the crazy behavior that she has. So we know that the prosecutor in Nate's case now knows that Annalise is corrupt. We don't know if she has the right information about her. Probably not, but still, any of that information is not good. Now, I think this is definitely going to lead to her being murdered at the end of the season. That explains it, but I'm sure there's more to that as well. So Bonnie confronts Asher at the end of this episode, and she's like, look, I know what's going on here. And he was like, oh my gosh, you know, I know what's going on here. I know that Nate and Annalise killed Sam, and all these names are getting confusing. Nate and Annalise killed Sam. He's like, I know you guys all know about it. You and Frank, Bonnie and Frank all know about it. She's like, oh my gosh, no, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. So then she freaking lies, and she's like, I killed Sam. Oh my gosh, such a web of lies in this show. It is a little hard to keep it straight sometimes. All right, to keep it straight. It definitely is. So she kind of had to lie to him, because she knew if he thought that she killed Sam, that he would protect her because he loves her, of course. So, we have some more issues here. A lot of stuff always happens at the end of these episodes. Annalise catches Nate and Wes talking in the parking lot. She knows that can't be good. She knows they're probably conspiring. Not good at all. And Nate tells Wes what I have been saying and thinking, can you really trust this person who claims to be Rebecca's foster brother? Because I don't know. I already thought it before he said it, but I'm starting to think, I don't think we can. What do you guys think? You think we can trust him? And we go back to our flash forward scene, and we were curious. I'm sure you were, because I was. I wanted to know, who was who was Michaela calling in the car when she was trying to flee the scene with Nate? and she shows up at someone's apartment, and it turns out to be Caleb. She lies to him, and she's like, everything's fine, she's fine. I mean, I'm assuming that she's talking about Annalise being fine. We know she's not good because she's about to die, or she looks very close to death. So what the heck? I mean, obviously this episode hints that there's some kind of romantic stuff going on between Caleb and Michaela, and they'll probably eventually get together. But how is he tied into all this, and why did she have to report to him about Annalise, and is he involved in this? And oh my gosh, like, I can't. I want to hear your theories on this, because there's just so many things. Like, can we trust Rebecca's brother? What is up with that? Is he even her foster brother? Hello? What is the Caleb connection to all of this? What is Nate's, role going to be in all of this, because he was at the scene? Why are the 4 people involved? Are they involved in Annalise almost dying? Who kills the prosecutor? Can you answer any of these questions? Like, oh my gosh, the prosecuting attorney. I mean, this is crazy to me. Crazy. Maybe even crazier than last season, because we have so many different things we're trying to figure out. But don't get me wrong, I totally love it. I mean, love, 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 love. So, thumbs up if you're enjoying this season, enjoying this episode, or enjoyed this episode. And leave me your thoughts, because I reply to everyone's comments. I just want to thank you so much for watching this episode of Kellie TV. I'll see you next time.